If you receive SSI, there is a bill sitting in Congress right now that could change far more than just the size of your monthly check. It could change how much money you are allowed to save, how much income you can receive, how marriage affects your benefits, and even how financial help from other people is treated. But here is where the confusion starts. The Supplemental Security Income Restoration Act of 2026 was introduced months ago, so some people assume it disappeared, failed, or no longer matters. That is not the right way to look at it. The bill has not become law, and there is no new SSI payment from it today, but it is still one of the most important SSI reform proposals introduced in the current Congress. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what each major part could mean for SSI recipients if lawmakers eventually move it forward. And one of those changes could allow an individual SSI recipient to have up to $10,000 in countable resources, without automatically losing eligibility. But that is only one part of this bill. First, what exactly is the SSI Restoration Act? It was introduced on March 5, 2026, as H.R. 728 in the House, and Est 4001 in the Senate. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Adelita Grijalva, Representative Jan Schakowsky, Representative James Moylan, and more than 30 lawmakers were involved in introducing the bipartisan legislation. It was designed to update SSI rules that lawmakers argue have fallen badly behind the cost of living. And here is the first potentially good change. The bill would raise SSI's resource limit to $10,000 for an individual and $20,000 for an eligible couple. Think about what that could mean. Under today's SSI rules, beneficiaries can face very restrictive limits on countable resources. That can make something as basic as building an emergency fund extremely difficult. A car repair, medical expense, broken appliance, or unexpected housing cost can become a major financial crisis when you are discouraged from building meaningful savings. This proposal tries to change that. But the savings increase may not even be the most important part. The bill would also update SSI's income disregard rules, rules that determine how much income can be ignored before it begins affecting your SSI payment. Those amounts have been largely frozen for decades. The sponsors specifically note that some of these exclusions have not been updated since 1974. In plain English, the proposal is trying to make it possible for SSI recipients to have more income without being punished as quickly by reductions in their benefits. For somebody who wants to work a limited number of hours, receives another small source of income, or is simply trying to improve their financial situation, that could be a meaningful change. And now we get to the part most viewers will probably care about. Could the monthly SSI payment itself increase? Yes, the bill proposes increasing the SSI benefit rate to 100% of the federal poverty level. That is important because this is not simply a proposal to give everybody a random one-time check. It is an attempt to change the underlying formula so SSI benefits provide a stronger minimum level of income. Exactly how much any individual would receive would depend on the final law, their income, living arrangement, and other eligibility factors. So I would not tell you today that every SSI recipient is guaranteed some specific new monthly dollar amount. That would be misleading. But the direction of the proposal is very clear. Raise the basic benefit and reduce the rules that keep recipients financially trapped. And there is another change that could especially matter to married couples. The legislation proposes eliminating what supporters describe as the SSI marriage penalty. Right now, SSI does not simply treat two married beneficiaries as two completely separate individuals for every part of the payment calculation. That can leave some couples feeling financially worse off after marriage. The Restoration Act attempts to address that problem. But stay with me, because another provision could affect people who receive help from their families. The bill would also repeal certain penalties involving in-kind support. For years, SSI rules have created situations where help with food or shelter can affect benefits. Some food-related rules have already been changed administratively, but housing assistance and other support can still create complicated SSI consequences. This legislation goes further by trying to remove additional penalties tied to that kind of support. In practical terms, the idea is simple. If a family member helps you survive, the SSI system should not automatically make your financial situation worse because someone helped you. And there is still more. The proposal would also change rules involving resource transfers, certain state tax-related payments, and tribal benefits, and it would streamline how lump sum and back payments are treated. That last part can matter more than it sounds. SSI recipients sometimes receive retroactive payments or other lump sums. Complicated resource rules can create anxiety about how long that money can remain in an account and whether it could threaten future eligibility. A simpler system could reduce some of that confusion. And there is another major expansion included in the bill. The legislation would extend SSI to U.S. territories, addressing long-standing differences in access to the program. So when you put everything together, this bill is much bigger than a headline saying, "New SSI increase." We are potentially talking about a higher basic benefit, much higher savings limits, updated income exclusions, reduced marriage penalties, fewer penalties for receiving help, simpler treatment of certain payments, and expanded eligibility. That is why this bill is worth knowing about, even though it was introduced months ago. But now comes the reality check. As of August 12, 2026, this legislation has not passed Congress and has not been signed into law. The House bill was referred to the House Ways and Means Committee, and official congressional records still show it at the legislative stage rather than as enacted law. So do not change your finances today assuming the $10,000 resource limit already applies. Do not assume your SSI payment has already been increased under this bill. And do not let anyone tell you that you need to apply for benefits created by the Restoration Act. There is nothing new to apply for under this legislation, unless and until Congress actually changes the law. But here is the reason I remain interested in this proposal. It has not simply vanished from the conversation. Senator Warren and other lawmakers were still publicly referring to the SSI Restoration Act in June and July 2026, describing it as part of their ongoing effort to strengthen SSI for nearly 8 million older Americans and people with disabilities. That does not mean passage is guaranteed. But it does mean this is still a proposal worth monitoring, rather than an old headline we should automatically forget. And if lawmakers ever move this bill forward, the most important numbers I will be watching are the new monthly benefit level, the $10,000 individual resource limit, the $20,000 couple limit, and the new income exclusions. Those are the changes that could directly affect how much money an SSI recipient can receive and how much financial breathing room they can finally have. If you receive SSI, tell me in the comments which change would help you the most. A higher monthly payment, being allowed to save more money, or being able to earn more without losing SSI so quickly. And subscribe to Social Security Post, because if this bill advances, changes in committee, receives a vote, or gets closer to becoming law, I'll break down exactly what changed and what it could mean for your monthly benefits.